Hey, this is Andre Gower from the Monster Squad, and you're listening to the Real Nerds Podcast.
Hey, Real Nerds listeners, your favorite host Ryan here to remind you that social media is great. How great is it? There's many ways you can find the Real Nerds on social media. You can download us on iTunes. You can listen to us streaming on Stitcher Radio. You can call us 720-6nerds5. Aw man, our website is so cool. You can visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You want to leave some fan mail? Oh, that's so easy, realnerds@gmail.com. Twitter, we got it, @real_nerds. You can even like us on Facebook. Thank you so much, and hey, enjoy the show.
Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast of Denver Comic-Con 2015. I'm a host, James Hart, joined as always by another host,
Brad Egg.
Hi, Brad.
Brad.
How you doing?
I'm all right.
Yeah?
I got a headache, so that sucks.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
How's your top 10 list going?
It's pretty much done, unless The Hobbit blows me away next week.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I got The Hobbit, and then I want to go back and see Chef, because I missed Chef this year. And so those two movies are the only ones that are like ringers that might pop up.
I don't have that problem because I only count the theatrical sessions that I go to as part of my 2014 movies.
Well, but, like, shouldn't you, if you, like, let's say you saw Chef and you had missed it in theaters, shouldn't that movie, since it came out this year, get a fair judgment against,
shake?
Like, yeah, shouldn't it get a chance to win your award at the end of the year? Like, let's say The Chef is your favorite movie of 2014. But you didn't get a chance to see it in theaters.
Yeah, I guess because I don't really rent movies at home, like
That's fair.
In Time.
Yeah.
That it's
In
not really
Time's not
been
a
an
bad
issue.
movie.
Huh?
In Time's not a bad movie.
Really? I heard
Yeah.
it's terrible.
It's pretty dumb, yeah.
Okay. I guess
It's coherent.
If I saw a movie basically on home video, I guess it would qualify, wouldn't it?
It does for me, but I try really hard to. I try to check off all the ones that where the trailer for one reason or another, enticed me.
Right.
So that way, because I would hate to. There have been years in the past where like I did my top 10 list and then I saw something and I was like, oh man, like that movie is, if not on the top, would have been really close.
Right. I think because I see everything I want to see, basically, it's at some point or another in the theater that I never really run into that situation. So.
Yeah, every now and then there's like a little indie movie for me that
I can't even think of like one that you guys saw that I was like, oh, I got to catch up on that.
Exodus. So this week, if you don't know what we do, if this is the first time you've listened, every week we go see a podcast and review it, which we'll do at the end of the show. This week we went and saw Exodus,
Well,
but we didn't do anything because I went and saw Exodus and Brad did not. If you haven't noticed, Ryan's not here. He's at home taking care of some family stuff, so he'll be back next week. But he also saw Exodus, so maybe
next week
you'll hear from him next week. Or maybe you'll call in. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So then before that, we'll go into some movie news. We'll talk about some box office numbers. We'll talk about Blu-rays are coming out and all kinds of stuff. So let's get into it. What do you want to start with?
Box office numbers?
Okay, good.
This is the box office stats.
I'll give you a hint. It's not Wild.
What did we see 2 weeks ago?
I'll give you a hint. It's not The Pyramid. I'll give you a hint that actually does matter. It's not Penguins of Madagascar.
You suggested this star help me. I can't believe I can't remember.
It's not Interstellar. It's not Big Hero 6, but it is The Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 1.
That didn't even come out last week, and I should have known that.
No, it's in, it's second week? Something like that?
Third, fourth?
Third? 16th week? They're all the same fucking movie, so who cares?
Yep.
It's basically, it's the same movie in its third year, winning the box office at the same time every year.
With the same amount of money.
With the exact same amount of money. Yep. It's almost like there's a built-in fan base that you can just fucking milk forever.
That is neither growing nor shrinking.
Yeah, no one is dying. Like, yeah.
They're not gaining any new fans, and they're not losing the existing ones.
Yeah. My dad finally got my mom to watch the first one. Just because every now and then he'll see a movie like that, and he's like, oh, yeah, that looks good. I want to check that out. I think he read the first book. Yeah, I think so. So he was interested, but I don't think they're going to watch any more of him, because even my mom is smart enough to watch that movie and be like, meh, this seems like it's been done.
Out.
Yeah, you could have done better.
He should show her Battle Royale.
I should. I've never seen Battle Royale.
Oh.
It's on my list of shame. I know. I wasn't going to admit that until I finally got a chance to
It's
check
even
it
easier
out.
now since there's like an American version.
Yeah, I know.
You should have tried to see it back when I did, when it was like still very obscure.
It was at a...
hard to get it.
I think it was at a theater sometime this year. Like the Esquire showed it or something. So
Yeah.
I've missed plenty of opportunities. Thanks. You're right. Thanks for rubbing it in. Excuse me. Let's see. What do you want to do next?
DVD, Blu-ray?
These are the most thrilling segments we've ever done on the podcast.
It's always a happening time when Ryan's not here.
It's a lot of momentum. It's almost like this is... we shouldn't ever admit that we can't do this show without him.
Good call. I'll cut that out.
Okay, fuck it. Fuck Ryan. DVD and Blu-rays. We actually have a segment. We have an interstitial that already says that.
We do, and I was leaving a pause until you said that.
DVD releases and Blu-rays.
All right. So this week,
What's worth buying, James?
got a number of things. Ninja Turtles.
Nope. Try
No,
again.
no, that's not it. Okay, how about?
They do have a sweet steelbook, which sucks.
Are you talking about this cool one that comes with like a little dude? There's a version that comes with like a little
That's
dude.
the statue one, which is even better, and I wish I cared about the movie enough to get it. It's like $80.
You're gonna get it anyway.
No, I'm not. But the
This
Best Buy has an exclusive steelbook that has 4 masks in it.
Yeah, I was gonna say this other one's got cool masks that come with it.
Yeah.
The Steelbook has masks in it.
I think the steelbook and the regular version do, but and then there's like just an economy version, but
Huh.
unfortunately, I just don't care enough about the movie to do either of those.
Yeah. Well, I
And
mean,
it's also really limited too, because of the. I don't know if you tried to get the Guardians of the Galaxy steelbook, but apparently they really underordered it, and now they're gone.
huh?
So
Yeah, they'll replenish them.
nope, they're gone.
No. If they can make money selling them,
I hope so. I hope they, but
they'll wait 2 months and then they'll double dip those people. All right. So if you're not going to get the Ninja Turtles, how about the Maze Runner? Are you going to get the Maze Runner?
nope, didn't see it. Don't care.
Okay.
Young adult stuff.
Magic in the Moonlight.
Woody Allen, don't care. Nope.
All right.
Emma Stone's on it though, which is nice. But
Oh, cool.
again, I can't. Not really a Woody Allen fan. Haven't really seen his stuff. Can't judge.
How about This Is Where I Leave You?
This is where I leave you.
Are you gonna buy that?
Family dark comedy.
Yeah.
Nope, I won't buy it because I haven't seen it. So,
You're really hard to please. How about the Skeleton Twins? Speaking of dark comedy,
you know what? They had Frank for $12 on
that's
Blu-ray.
that's a different movie.
Right, but I'm just saying, if the Skeleton Twins is $12 on Blu-ray, I might get it.
Okay. All right. We're
Yeah.
getting close.
Tell me, do they have a movie called Mother's Milk? Because I really want to get that.
Maybe. Let me scroll down. Let me see. Let's see.
I don't care what it's about. I
about-
just want something with that title.
How about the Criterion version of Tootsie? You're a big fan of dressing up like women, right?
Yeah, gosh. A Criterion version? That's
Criterion
like the best
version.
kind.
Yeah.
But they cover all of the cross-dressing. No, I won't be getting that. I'm sorry.
Blu-ray of Batman the television series?
Already have it.
Okay. How about Grand Canyon 3D, the American masterpiece?
Sure. No reason to go to the actual thing ever again.
Anyway, I've been skating around it. There is a complete series Blu-ray collection of Cowboy Bebop out this week.
Oh, I'm getting that.
Yeah, that's. I might even pick that up myself.
I'll
And
fight
I don't
you
watch a
for
whole
it.
lot of anime, but Cowboy Bebop
Best Buy
is
will get
great.
one, and we'll fight over it to the death.
Let's see, Katy Berry, Getting Intimate, and Mother's
Katy
Milk.
Berry. Is that like Halle Berry's pop sister?
Wait, is The Devil's Door or At the Devil's Door? Is that a horror movie from this year? I don't know.
Who
Who gives two fucks?
Ryan does.
Peter Pan Live. Oh, this is that thing with
The
Allison
sequel
Williams.
to Sound of Music, right?
Yeah, yes, exactly. The sequel to Sound of Music, Peter Pan, where a woman plays Peter Pan. The only time in my life
they've
I've
done
ever
before.
been
Not
I've
that
ever
edgy.
been this attracted to Peter Pan.
Gross.
No, she's cute. She was in that Girls show. She was like
Not-
the character that I originally thought
not
was going to be great in Girls, and then Girls got to be fucking horrible. But yeah, Mother's Milk comes out this week, so run out and get that.
Whatever that is.
Oh god,
Weird title.
Yeah. Well, because this is that time of year where anybody who wanted to make sure that they were a Christmas present has already released their movie, like Guardians, right? Where you release a couple weeks before Christmas, so that way
Ninja Turtles, yep.
you get into the stocking stuffers. But
I don't think I
anyway,
ever got DVDs or movies or VHSs in my stockings.
I got there was a little while near the end of DVD where I would get like those Walmart $1 DVDs in there. So I got a copy of like Flash Gordon episodes on DVD, like 4 episodes of Flash Gordon. I may have gotten a copy of the Cowboys in a stocking, but usually, yeah, they were gifts. My stockings are, at my parents' house were always like a chocolate orange, a small Lego set, a small summer sausage. I pretty much always get a summer sausage at this point.
I bet you did.
It's a running joke because in college my mom bought me one of those fucking yard of beefs from the Sam's Club. It's like a 1.5 foot of summer sausage. Like it's huge. It's the size of a Coke
yard
can.
of beef.
Yeah. It's literally called a yard of beef. It's the size of a Coke can in diameter, and it's about 1.5 foot long. So it's actually about half a yard.
Basically, James is currently subconsciously relating his childhood abuse in the form of food allegories.
And my mom gave me one. She sent me, like, we were joking before I moved away to college about the yard of beef, and like that's what I would, exist on for the majority of, you just take a yard of beef.
Slice off a
and,
bit. Yeah.
You just slice off a bit. You throw it onto a club cracker, man. You got a sandwich. Like, come on. So one year she sent me one, and those things are a fucking curse because once you open them, I don't know that one human being living alone can actually eat an entire yard of beef. But like at a certain point, you've eaten so much fucking summer sausage, and you've done everything you can with it. You've tried to cook it in pans and make it with eggs, and you've had entire meals. You've gone through boxes and boxes of club crackers and every fucking cheese food you can get your hands on to try and make the yard of beef edible. And eventually you're still like, dude, I've eaten a fucking third of this thing. And you just throw it the fuck out. Like, who cares that there are starving children in China? Like, I don't care. Yard of beef is going in the garbage because it is like, it's this daunting task. You're smiling at me like...
And this has been Food Nerds Podcast. Join us next week when we actually talk about movies.
Anyway.
Talk about movies with beef in them.
Yeah. Mother's Milk doesn't help you eat yard of beefs.
Yeah.
But yeah. What else do we do?
Comic books? Or should we skip that this week?
We should skip that because I haven't
I'm
read
fine,
anything.
yeah.
All
right. News?
Okay. Yeah, news.
It's real news.
I have literally been like living under a rock all week, so tell me what's going on.
Okay, James, listen, this is what happened.
Okay.
The North Koreans hacked Sony Entertainment.
Motherfuckers. Let's
Yeah.
bomb those fuckers.
Exposed all their financial records, all their inter-work emails, and social security numbers. It's all out there.
Why?
All the secrets of Sony movie making are online for you to read.
But why does anyone care?
Supposedly, they're really upset that Seth Rogen and James Franco are releasing a movie aimed to encourage people to assassinate their leader, Kim Jong-un.
That's fair.
Called The Interview. And, they basically see it as an act of war. So rather than be the first one to fire a rocket, they just hacked some information and embarrassed a company.
This is honestly getting like kind of convincing. North Korea didn't actually have anything to do with this, right?
No one really knows, but that's the biggest
Really?
culprit number one.
Seriously? Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's what I've read. I mean,
That's some hardcore
you can't
shit.
trust news these days.
Oh,
Who knows?
fuck no.
But
Oh, fuck no. And who get...
that's what I read. That's not what I saw or experienced.
It doesn't make that much sense, right?
Huh?
It doesn't make that much sense. Like, what is it you're trying to achieve by hacking into Sony? But
Well, there's all kinds of groups these days that just like to expose, like make transparent, business practices and stuff. So it could have been like
Yeah.
anonymous or something.
right.
Who knows?
But
anyway, it's out there. Or if it's completely fabricated, it's like the best story.
Did we learn cool stuff like how much Jennifer Lawrence got paid for American
We
Hustle?
do.
Are you fucking serious?
I read Amy Adams and Jennifer Lawrence apparently, I didn't get the figures, but the headline was they clearly made less money than their male co-stars.
Motherfucking sexist.
Yep.
David O. Russell put the motherfucker in jail. God damn it. What an asshole. All his
it may
movies
not
are
be his
fucking
fault.
Shit.
It may be the
Sexist
executives.
Motherfucker. No, I watched that
Cutting the
movie.
paychecks.
How much deep cleavage shots were like just were we just hanging on through that movie? Sexist asshole. Fuck him.
I know, you can get that shit for free now because of another hack. So,
What shit for free?
the Jennifer Lawrence nude pics,
That's just on the internet now?
I guess. I haven't found it myself, but seriously, I'm not joking. but
I've been fucking digging through the internet looking for this shit.
that was the last big hack thing, was the celebrity photo hack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they got Jennifer Lawrence.
And Anna Kendrick, apparently,
That
supposedly.
Wow.
Yeah. Again, this is all stuff I read.
This is why you shouldn't take photos of yourself naked.
Absolutely not.
I mean, I take photos of myself naked all the time, but nobody wants to see them. That's the difference.
And don't write racist emails about the president.
Were there racist? Was there racist shit in the Sony thing?
The two executives from Sony were joking around, clearly our type of humor, about whether or not they should ask the president what he thought of, what was that one, 12 Years a Slave?
Oh, no.
Yeah, because they were going to go to some luncheon with him.
Uh-huh.
They're like, what should we talk about? Like, should I ask him what he thought of The Butler or 12 Years a Slave? Yeah, or The Help? Yeah, so they apologized for that one. What else?
Nothing is sacred anymore.
Nope. What else happened? Scott Rudin thinks that Angelina Jolie is a talentless brat.
Probably.
Who wants to make Cleopatra and run up a $150 million budget or something on it for something that no one wants.
Yeah, that
Except for
sounds
her.
like a movie I don't want to see.
Yep. And it got the Aaron Sorkin Steve Jobs project moved over to Universal because of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that was supposed to have Christian Bale in it for like a second.
Right. And
Yeah.
then they wanted Leonardo DiCaprio, and then he bailed, and then the female executive, I forget her name, she was very upset with that and called him despicable for canceling. Yeah.
Wow.
On Hollywood Babylon today, they were talking about it, and Kevin Smith said, like, for years it's been rumored that Hollywood is basically high school with money. And now it's validated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, yeah.
Just a bunch of kids.
I should have
with
printed
too
some
much
out so I
money.
could read them word for word, but it sounds like that. It's like very childish
Which I mean,
name calling.
like
And
internal emails in a lot of companies might sound like that.
yeah.
Especially in very dogmatic red tape kind of companies where you got to jump through a lot of hoops and stuff like that. Like you're going to get a lot of people who are assholes.
Oh, that reminds me, because they also have emails about employee feedback about the company.
Yeah.
And a majority of them are, why don't we make better stuff? Better, more creative. How many
doesn't-
more shitty Sandler movies do we have to make?
Why doesn't Drive Club work yet?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Huh.
So they speaking of Sandler, the deal's revealed that Sandler's making a mint off of all the movies he's making on his deal.
Of course he is.
And Sony's basically getting the shaft.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets paid, but the audiences aren't showing up, so Sony doesn't get paid.
The movie only exists because he's in it. Like
Exactly.
no one is going to make or see a grown-ups movie ever if Adam Sandler's not in it. Like Kevin James does not pull out enough of an audience to warrant a camping film. So,
Yep.
of course he's making bank.
Channing Tatum wants to make a Ghostbusters team-up movie with Chris Pratt, just a duo.
Okay, I'll see that.
Yeah, might be interesting. And then there's a bunch of names in line for the female Ghostbusters reboot, remake. Not any of those title type things. No one knows yet.
Yeah.
But most of them we already knew, like Jennifer Lawrence, Emma
Kristen
Stone. Actually, Kristen Wiig wasn't on this list. Melissa McCarthy.
Fuck.
Yeah, all these names you heard before. What else? Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill wanted to make a 22 Jump Street crossover with Men in Black.
Fuck yeah.
They think the only place to go next is to the future.
Okay, I'm fine with
or
that.
something. Or have them fight aliens instead of, going back to college.
Yeah, make it like The Watch, only
Okay.
a whole lot better.
That's true. And then also Channing Tatum. It's weird, a lot of the emails are from Channing Tatum. He was boasting about how 22 Jump Street became the highest grossing R-rated movie, or had the best opening for an R-rated movie, surpassing Ted. And so his email is actually kind of funny. It was jokingly like suck it, Ted 2. And then he literally typed ha 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 for like a page. Yeah.
Oh,
So the internet was enjoying that.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's more to come.
Yeah?
More craziness.
Do we get any like superhero juicy bits or anything like that?
There's stuff about Spider-Man.
Okay.
About how...
Because they got Spider-Man, yeah.
Right. There was a chance to team up with Marvel,
Right?
but Sony wanted too much control over the character still,
Dumb.
creatively. So that deal got canceled, but it may still happen now that it's out there. Everyone knows that they were trying to do it.
Right.
So now
Which there
Marvel
were-
has the upper hand.
There were rumors about that back around Avengers, I believe,
Yeah.
where they were talking about trying to get him in there, just even if it was just like a cameo for a
Right.
second,
Yeah, they want to bring him into Captain America 3, I
Oh,
think.
right. Yeah.
And then
That would make a lot of sense.
start his own trilogy or something.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, if they do that, Andrew Garfield would probably get
Yeah.
retired.
They told the story that we wanted out of... Like, what's really great about the Andrew Garfield version is the chemistry between Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, and we have that story now from beginning to end. So
Very expensive telling of that story.
right.
If that was the goal, it's a very expensive undertaking for a romantic comedy.
Agreed. But I think it's really good. Like, overall, I think that story is good. So I'm fine with them. Like, it's too bad. I'm not going to say that, because I think he's really well cast, and I think it would be neat to see him stay on for a while. But in exchange for a Marvel-driven version of Spider-Man that fits into the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and is probably handled with a lot more care than what I expect Sony to. Because Sony's just going to fucking reboot the thing to death over the next 10 years anyway. So why not just give it back to Marvel, who's going to handle it well, cash out, make yourself some kind of a deal where you'll get a payout for future profits, and move on. Like, you lose because you're not that creative, but these guys are. Let them go make some money with the stuff that they sold to you. But
Yeah.
that's not going to happen.
So the next question is the media reporting these hacks ethical?
No.
No?
No. Yeah, I mean, the truth is that what you're doing is... I think it's interesting. Some of it is interesting. If this happens more than one more time, we should stop talking about it. Because it's just like the feverish reporting about murder suicides in schools or stuff like that causes people to, that, as far as I'm concerned, the news coverage about that kind of an issue, or even something like this, encourages people to behave this way. And Sony, even though they have all the money in the world, they don't have all the money in the world. They're not doing as well as they used to, but they have a lot of money, and they're a pretty big corporation. They can't all be so safe and have all the best firewalls and all the things that you need to protect yourself from all the crazy hacker assholes out there who might be trying to get in. So, like, because the same thing happened, a few years ago. Sony got hacked, and their
PlayStation.
the PlayStation ID hack, which there is no provable identity theft that came out of that. It was a huge kerfuffle for a while there, but the same thing was true then. That you can't protect against everybody. You can do a lot of stuff to try and deter it, but if the more we talk about this stuff and encourage it on the internet, the more those assholes with nothing else to do are going to go try and find the nude pics of Jennifer Aniston or whatever. I just oddly dated myself. She's not the one they're going after, but still, the more that you stir up that conversation, absolutely the more people are going to want to do it, because they just want that attention. I mean, what these people did was illegal. A lot of this stuff, I'm sure, has confidentiality agreements behind it, and I'm sure there are plenty of emails that have the little the contents of this email may fall under certain confidentiality, all of that nonsense. But yeah, I don't know. This one, for the most part, sounds like it's relatively harmless, but at the same time,
unless you're Sony.
Yeah.
An employee of Sony, because now your social security number's out there, so that sucks.
Right.
But as far as knowing how these people deal with each other, it's if I was working in industry, I'm great, this is a great heads up on who I should not deal with.
Yeah.
If I want to be a creative person.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
Is there anything else happen this week?
Yes.
Oh, we found out. We found out the names of those characters from the Star Wars trailer.
We did, yes, via retro baseball cards.
Yeah, which is weird.
I think it's cute.
Yeah, what's kind of cool here is that one of the things that people were so fucking pissed off about was, there were two things, right? There's the lightsaber, and then there's the fact that apparently people got pissed off about the fact that there's a black guy in a stormtrooper outfit.
Wow,
I know.
No, that's impossible.
This is really dumb. But anyway, we found out that guy's name on one of those cards, which the frustrating thing about that to me was always, how many times before, Luke Skywalker puts on a stormtrooper outfit. There's nothing about that trailer that tells us that guy is a stormtrooper. So, I don't know.
Yeah, for all we know, he was wearing it in a trash compactor before he got ejected from a Star Destroyer and landed on Tatooine.
Yeah, exactly.
He was wearing it to sneak out.
Yeah. So that's good, I guess. People are dumb. I don't know why they're arguing about that, but...
I heard people are confused about the guy in the black cloak with the crazy broadsword lightsaber.
Oh, yeah? Did we learn
He
something?
doesn't have a Darth name. It's just
Really?
Kylo Ren. No Darth.
Ooh.
Which...
Well, but all of the Sith are supposed to be dead after the last movie, so wouldn't they maybe not be called a Darth? Maybe
Right.
he's not technically a Sith. He's just a guy with a red lightsaber.
That's what they're saying is maybe he hasn't earned the Darth title yet.
But
he's on... Because the Sith is coming back, maybe it's just, a precursor. So he wouldn't be a Darth.
Yeah. Right. And maybe in this movie he's not a Darth, but in the next one he'll get knighted with a crazy hilted lightsaber. And do you knight Jedi? Have we ever seen a Jedi get knighted? No.
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 Because in the original trilogy, there's no one around except for Ben, and he didn't do it.
Yeah.
To Luke, and then in the prequels, they were already knighted, so they didn't really make new ones. They rejected Anakin. Oh no, they didn't they?
No, he gets
He went from
Yoda totally brings
Padawan
him.
to
Yeah, because otherwise he wouldn't get to learn all the stuff he learns, and then kill the younglings.
Yeah. They did have a ceremony.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the first one, there's that scene in the back room.
Yeah.
He's well, plus just at the end of the first one, he's got that stupid fucking hair thing going on.
That braid.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know what else is crazy?
What?
Is that little robot ball droid?
He's totally
is real.
Yeah, that's a practical
CGI.
effect.
Yep.
I know.
It's an animatronic puppet.
Totally cool.
Yeah.
I want to
Fooled
see
me.
a whole featurette about that guy. What's his name? BB4?
BB-8.
Yeah. Yeah. Seems good.
Kenny Baker's in the movie, right?
I don't remember who Kenny Baker is.
He's R2D2.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe he's just doing like the beep beep boopy sounds.
That's Ben Burtt's job, but Kenny Baker was actually in the trash can,
right?
In the original.
I know.
Okay. But I was just curious if I thought R2D2 was in the movie, but it seems like BB-8's going to steal the show.
Yeah. I mean, we were. So I was talking to some friends about this the other day, and we were postulating that like. Because I was telling my brother about how cool BB-8 is in the trailer because he hasn't seen the trailer yet because he has a kid, so he doesn't actually like get on the internet anymore. And I was describing like, he's really cool. Like he's rolling really fast. He's clearly, just seems like a much more efficient design for a droid than a little like 3-legged thing that rolls around.
But what does a droid that like runs around on top of a ball? Like, what would he accomplish?
I don't fucking know. But and so Jake was like, "No, you can't. Don't make R2D2 obsolete." And I was like, "No, he's not obsolete. He's just like now he works in a warehouse making cool ball droids, and like he just uses his little shock arm to like solder some pieces together. And when his shift is over, he goes home and gets drunk, and that's his day. Like he works building cooler new robots, and we'll get a whole movie about that." Rian Johnson's going to make a movie just about like the depression that sets
Star
in
Wars droids.
when Star Wars droids have to build new, cooler Star Wars droids. There's a whole chapter about like a battle droid that's just making Star Trooper armor all day long. I'd watch that movie.
The most expensive
The most
assembly line
the most
movie ever.
expensive dark comedy about a CG character that has ever existed.
I think that's it for news.
Yep.
What we've been watching?
Yeah, we're cooking through this.
Good. You don't need another 2-hour show.
All right, what have we been watching?
So, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Brad, what have you been playing lately? Are you playing any video games?
No.
So, right, what have we been watching? What did you watch this week?
What did I watch this week? I got all the Star Trek Next Generation Blu-rays.
Oh, yeah?
And
Because you got those for, like, Black Friday, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Super on sale. Terrible packaging.
Really?
Delivery. Yeah, I had 3 cases smashed up, and then...
Did you make them send you new ones?
I did.
Good.
Well, and the first one was missing 4 discs
What?
out of the middle, so... Yeah, they replaced that. But yeah, the cases were beat up, and 5 of the 7 didn't have slip covers, so I had to design my own.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I guess that's what I get for paying only $30 for each of those.
$30 is still a lot of money.
It is,
Like,
but yeah,
that's like 2004 season of television money. Like,
yeah. But apparently, most people don't give a shit about slip covers, as I've read. So
this is bullshit.
they just
I told you about
your average consumer takes it home, throws it in the trash.
I told you about what I was over at my folks' house and I went downstairs in the basement where my mom keeps her DVD collection now, and she had a laundry basket and it was just full of slipcovers. And I grabbed them and I went upstairs and I said, "Who taught you this? Where did you learn this? Who did you get all of this from? Why are you doing this?
Do you live in a barn?"
Seriously." And she's like, "Well, I just don't care about them." And I'm like, "I don't care that you don't care about them. You don't do this. This isn't how I raised you."
Why are they considered
then,
like less valuable than the plastic case the disc is in?
Oh
like,
my
why
God.
not just throw out the whole thing and just keep the disc in a binder?
If I could snap my fingers and put a slip cover on every single one of my Blu-rays, I would do it.
Oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Now that I can make slip covers, I'm gonna slip cover the shit out of my collection,
Yeah.
so they're all square in uniform,
Exactly. That way they just look so nice on the shelf.
hmm
Man.
nice and papery.
Not just that cheap fucking, here's my Blu-ray.
Here's a plastic case with like a wheel of 6 holes cut out of it. To
Yeah,
save
because
you
it's
more money.
recycled. Yeah, what assholes. Fuck.
I know.
Fuck the earth. Give me a full case.
If only everything could be a digibook or a steelbook,
Yeah.
be gorgeous. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I got those. The picture quality is fantastic.
Good.
A little bummed that they stuck with the 4:3 ratio, but I understand why.
Yeah.
Because apparently, like, they have the widescreen original film, but there's like light stands and PAs off to the side
Right.
because they framed him out, thinking like this will never be bigger,
Right.
framed wise than this. And then the making of the whole restoration process is fascinating. How they've like they can't just take the original video; they had to go to the original film, which is in just cardboard boxes in a CBS warehouse in Los Angeles, just 20-year-old labeled stuff. They're trying to hunt down like spools of like 13 seconds shots that are just not kept together. And there's like one woman who's in charge of that.
Wow.
She's talking about they were about to like they made the next level sampler disc.
Uh-huh.
We didn't have this 13 seconds of this one episode. And then between releasing season 1 and that disc, they found that 13 seconds
Oh,
and
wow.
squeezed it on that.
So my copy of that episode is not... Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's obviously it's a classic show.
Have
Not
you
to really
been
talk about
watching
the content,
through...
but
Because you already had a number of those seasons, didn't you?
I had all 7 on DVD,
Oh, okay. But
Yeah.
but so for Black Friday, you got all 7 of them on
Blu-ray.
On
yeah.
Blu-ray. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I got all 6 on Black Friday. 7 came out the week after
Oh, okay.
as the first time,
Yeah.
So I picked that up at, still $60 is better than 100, but
Are you just bouncing around in seasons, or did you didn't start at the beginning and start working?
I couldn't start at the beginning because I was missing 4 of the discs, so I just jumped to season 2. But I watched
Fair.
the special features
Totally
of the
fair.
set I
to
had,
just skip to season 2.
Yeah.
Totally fair.
and I'll go back. I got my replacement, so I'll go back. But
Cool.
I had the first disc and the last disc, so I was able to watch the special features of the first season of the the making of the restoration. So and then I returned it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm on season 3 right now, and looks great.
Cool.
Enjoying that. Shoot, what else I watch? I'll forget the home stuff that I watched. Or do I want to?
Go over. We got plenty of time.
Oh, I rewatched Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, cool.
'Cause I got that steelbook.
Let me guess. Still pretty good.
Yeah. It was in question because when I saw it, I had just finished the 48-hour film project, and I slept through a number of scenes in
Oh,
that
that's
movie.
right.
So there were gaps in, like, what happened to get from here to here?
Who is this raccoon? Why does he start talking?
Exactly. Why is this kid screaming and getting abducted by aliens? And now it makes more sense emotionally why that's a thing. And then why he's reaching for that woman at the end of the movie.
Right. Exactly. All of a sudden, it all ties together.
Yeah, it's so fun. I mean, again, it's like a very minimal villain arc. Like,
Yes.
not a big deal. Like, it's
Yeah.
pretty shallow.
Yep.
But the
Ronan
5
wants
characters...
to kill people.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah. And it is a cool twist when he goes against Thanos. Like, he starts out the movie,
Yeah.
I'm going to do this for Thanos. And then he's like, wait a minute, I could have the power.
And it is kind of cool that he actually like uses it, right? Like they've in the past movie, like in Thor 2, the whole thing is you've got to keep this bad guy from getting this thing, and this is the exact same plot, but there is a scene where he fucking gets it, and our characters have been left floating out in space, and then he not only gets it, but then decides like, fuck you, Thanos, he's just gonna use it and turn his hammer into a cool glowy hammer. Yeah.
And then
pretty good.
I was a little bummed watching it because when I saw it, it was in 3D IMAX,
And
which
this one
was
was only in
amazing,
2D.
and I felt immersed in it. But watching it at home, it lost a little bit of that, but still, the characters are so much fun.
Can you
kinda let
believe
it
how
go.
crazy what you just said is? Can you believe how crazy what you just said is? That like
Prefer 3D
yeah,
over...
that a 3D movie actually was like additive to the experience.
Yeah.
And then when you got it on Blu-ray, you were like, "Man, I wish this were in 3D."
I'm a little separated from these characters.
Sony, I wonder how many emails of Sony's say, "I really wish people would want to have a 3D TV in their homes," like, and then you
think
just sort of because nobody
Guardians,
buys
Disney?
them now. Yeah, well, but it's one of the reasons why Sony has lost so much money over the last few years is that people don't buy as many TVs, which is why they did the whole 3D TV thing, was they were trying to incite people to buy new TVs. But most people aren't buying 3D TVs because most people don't give a shit because 3D was never really that impressive or interesting.
Well, yeah, by the time just a regular LED was affordable,
Right.
3D came out. So it was like, why am I going to go back a year later and switch out the awesome TV I just got?
Right, exactly. Well, and just like, and you were talking about having to buy a bunch of Blu-rays that are 3D. Like the cost of entry was just too high.
Individual glasses are like $80 a piece.
So I mean, I never bought a 3D TV.
Yeah,
because I don't give a shit. Like the truth is, when I watch a Blu-ray at home, I usually just put something on and then I'm going to work or something like that while it's on. So it's pretty rare that I'm going to want to like sit and put glasses on my face and watch a movie in 3D. And because I've always been so unimpressed by 3D, like that's why I'm saying it's pretty crazy that you just said like, man, I kind of wish I had a 3D TV so I could watch this movie in 3D.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That first scene where Star-Lord's walking through the ocean planet and he's just singing. I remember just floating through all the words and I was like, oh my god, it's like I'm there. They did such a good job. There's so much depth to this, and I'll never see that again.
Thanks, James Cameron. It's almost like you're there.
Yeah,
floating through all this.
I also watched all the special features and the director's commentary, which, if anyone's wondering what the plot to Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is, just listen to that, because he flat out tells you that it's going to be about finding Star-Lord's dad.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah. Which, spoilers, his dad's a dick bag.
Is he? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
In the comics, he is.
Yeah, I don't follow comics, but.
Yeah. I think I told, when we did the review, I think I talked about how, like, the new series starts with basically his dad coming to Earth and taking advantage of this woman, and then making a woman fall in love with him, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, man, sorry, my ship's been fixed for like a week. I just really wanted to have sex with you," and then he takes off. Yeah, awesome, love that guy. The worst.
It's also funny on the making of each section is an 8-bit version of Guardians of the Galaxy. So it's like Rocket Raccoon in 8-bit, and he's walking across the screen like a side-scrolling Mario game.
Yeah.
And then James Gunn will pop up, and there'll be like a little quote box, and they'll say something funny. It's a fun little transition between sections.
Cool.
And then I guess the last thing I can remember that I got a free ticket from AMC for whatever reason.
You're already shaking your head.
For a movie called Laggies.
Oh.
Terrible title. Terrible.
Yes, but I've heard about this movie, but I can't remember. Is it
Keira Knightley, Chloe Grace Moretz? Since Ryan's not here, it's Moretz. He always says Moretz.
Does he?
Yeah. You ever noticed that?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. Chloe Grace Moretz, Hit Girl, and then Sam Rockwell, and he plays a divorce lawyer.
Okay.
And then Keira Knightley is a slacker.
Okay.
30-year-old.
Would you say she's lagging behind the rest?
I would say that. Yep. The movie says that. Quite in your facely. If
you had a group of people like her, would you call them laggers?
No, I call them laggies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, Chloe Grace Moretz, she's like Sam Rockwell's daughter, and she's kind of a delinquent. She like hangs out at grocery stores and convinces people like Keira Knightley to buy her beer with their friends. And so Keira Knightley is struggling, trying to find a career, and her boyfriend is ready to. He proposes to her. He wants to get married. She's not quite ready because she's lagging behind.
God damn.
And she says, he convinces her to go to Vegas and just do it overnight. But they have a baby shower the next morning.
Okay.
So he's like, actually, I take that back. Let's wait till Sunday. But she wants to do it now if she's going to do it. So she's like, okay, if we have to wait, let's just wait a whole week then. And I'm going to go to this career seminar and find out what I want to do with my life and come back and we'll get married. And so she goes to this career seminar, which is actually just her going on vacation by herself to sort her shit out.
Okay.
And she stays with Chloe Grace Moretz in secret for a few days until her father figures out that she's not a 17-year-old girl in her class.
Oh, so she's pretending to be like a high schooler.
Yeah.
Keira Knightley does not look like a high schooler.
No.
Yeah.
He's very suspicious initially, and it doesn't take him long to figure it out.
Okay.
Because he's a lawyer.
Is he kind of... Does he fall in love with her?
Yeah, probably.
God damn it.
It's a I like the movie.
This is
good.
it's like a happy-go-lucky version of American Beauty.
I haven't seen the American. I don't know, but the performances are fun. I just don't know if like the message of it, like the resolution, is all that satisfying. Because like she chooses the divorce lawyer, and then her boyfriend back at home.
Who's the dad, or is that the?
He's the dad.
Okay.
The boyfriend back at home is a photographer artist, so it's like, in the end, she chooses the guy with money.
Son of a bitch.
And his whole thing is that his ex-wife just ditched him and the kid and went off to be a fashion model. And so when Chloe Grace Moretz convinces Keira Knightley to go track down her mom to like say, hey, you haven't talked to me in like 8 years. Yeah, I want to know about my mom. And she ran away because she didn't know how to be a parent. And she's like, I just won't deal with it. I'll just leave. So when she finally gets to meet her daughter, she basically tries to buy her off to leave with like, hey, I got all this lingerie for my shoots. Take it. Here's reparations for all the time I missed with you. But yeah, Sam Rockwell's just kind of disappointed in life that didn't work out. And he's, his job is to mediate all these other couples who are just like out to get each other's money and ruin each other's lives. And and Keira Knightley shows up and they have a rapport, and obviously he wants to pursue that. But when he finds out that she's actually engaged, it's very, very soap opera-y.
Yep, sounds like it.
And then Chloe Grace Moretz convinces Keira Knightley to go to her prom, and and when she finds out that Keira Knightley is engaged too, that she's like, "Oh, I thought you were gonna be my new mom. You betrayed me," type thing. Yeah. But again, it's a good movie. It's just kind of like a little
soap opera.
Yeah.
So, would you recommend anyone see it?
I don't know about theater, but if it's streaming on Netflix, I think it's all right.
Okay, cool.
So, what'd you watch?
Just a couple of quick things. Got a chance this week to see a movie from this year called Young Ones, which I don't even know if it came to Denver or when there was a chance. Anyway, so right now it's available. You can get it on Amazon. But it's basically like a sci-fi western that stars Michael Shannon and Elle Fanning, Nicholas Hoult, who's the guy from Warm Bodies, and then
or X-Men. Come on, Beast.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. Well, but see, he's always got the makeup on in that movie.
Nerd card revoked.
You're right. And then Cody Smith McPhee. And so the story here is, so it's set in the future. It's a very like interstellar style future where like the Earth is sort of dying. There's not enough water.
Sounds like Trigun. Continue.
Okay, so there's not enough water. Okay, there aren't whip guns or any like weird shit like there is in Trigun though. There's sorry, I'm losing track of. Okay, so they sort of allude to the idea that pesticides and that kind of stuff have ruined certain parts of the earth. But Michael Shannon has this patch of land that he fully believes is fertile. He just can't get water, and the local what is left of some of the government is building a pipeline nearby, and he wants them to bring water to his land, but he can't convince them to. And his Elle Fanning and Cody Smith McPhee are his kids. And Elle Fanning is in love with and sneaking off and dating Nicholas Holt's character, who plays Flem. His name is Flem, like
yeah.
So one day. What we start finding out is that Flem is kind of something of a con man, in a subtle way, and he ends up getting into some trouble and ends up. I'm going to spoil this. I'm going to spoil the first act. He ends up killing Michael Shannon's character.
Whoops.
And so the rest of the movie basically becomes this very traditional Western plot of we've got this character who is now farming the land of a man that he killed and is close with that man's son, Cody Smith McPhee, and Cody Smith McPhee has to kind of figure out like what actually happened to his dad. But there's all these cool future elements thrown into it because for the most part, you know, they're riding on horses, they've got rifles, and you know, it just feels like a Western movie most of the time, except for the fact that early in the movie they sell their donkey and buy like this robot, and it's one of those. Did you see that military like dog robot thing? It's got 4 legs, and like if you kick it, it'll stay standing up. It's one of those things, like same style robot, and it's made for just doing like general labor stuff. But it's constantly like walking around or interacting with the characters, or they're using it to, you know, do whatever labor they need to do to create, you know, build this farm. And it actually plays a integral role into that whole plot because it's there when Michael Shannon gets murdered. And so it's just really cool to see somebody take some of those sci-fi elements and throw it onto a old Western style plot. But at the end of the day, it's still sort of a plot that you've seen before. And so it didn't really...
Same substance, different paint.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't really surprise me in the ways that I wanted it to. But it handles the style fairly well. It's got a score by Nathan Johnson, and that part's worth it. Like, that part's really good. But overall, it didn't wow me the way I wanted to. You know, I think I talked about a week ago that I've been putting together my top 10 list for the year, and
sounds like it's not going to make it.
Well, this was one of the movies on the list of movies that I missed from the year, which was surprisingly not as long as it usually is. And this is one of the ones where I was like, I have to make sure I check that off because that seems special and like it's got some potential. And it is. It's totally worth seeing. I definitely think people should rent it while it's on Amazon or you know, find a time to get a copy of it. But I don't know. It's not as special as I was hoping it was going to be. So anyway, and then I've also been rewatching through the 4th season of Arrested Development, which I'm liking a lot better this time. When I watched it the first time, I was watching it with my parents and my brother, and so we'd watch like an episode or two on a Sunday night, and then maybe we'd go a week or two before we watched another. And that season is so like one long story that I would forget some of the little running jokes and stuff like that, and so it just wasn't as entertaining as I was hoping it was going to be.
Like it's one long arc, but everyone gets like their own episode.
Yeah,
which makes sense because the actors structured the story like that, so they wouldn't have to get everyone in the same room at the same time.
Yeah. And so this time I'm really enjoying a lot more. So that's cool. I mean, obviously that whole thing is just on Netflix, but. And then the very last thing that I watched is that this week I went and saw Exodus, Gods and Kings.
Oh, before you get there, I forgot I went and saw Batman Returns
last son of a bitch.
Or Saturday night.
Yeah.
And I saw something I hadn't seen in that movie before, having watched it many, many times.
What?
When the Jester blows fire into one of the shops early on in the movie, when the Red Triangle Gang attacks Gotham.
Okay.
The Jester blows fire into the shop, and there's a close-up of all the merchandise on the table that gets burned. And on the far right is a Ninja Turtle, a plush Ninja Turtle. Ninja Turtles are in a Batman movie.
Well,
crossover,
yeah,
nerd crossover.
But it's not a Ninja Turtle; it's a plush of a ninja. So all it is that in the Batman universe, the Ninja Turtle movies exist.
Right, in the comics. In Batman, in Gotham, people are reading Turtle comics and watching Turtle movies.
So here's an existential question.
Playing with turtle toys. In
Gotham, can you buy a copy of a Spider-Man comic book?
I don't think so because I didn't see any Spider-Man merchandise.
But it would be much cooler if, like, in the background, you saw like the TMNT van implying that the actual Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
They're fighting
existed.
crime alongside him.
Yeah, well, they're
From
fighting,
below.
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're fighting crime.
Although they didn't do a very good job of taking out the Penguin while they were down there, did they?
His sewer doesn't connect to their sewer.
I guess not. Yeah.
It services a different.
The Gotham sewer doesn't connect to the New York City sewer.
Right. Yes. Exactly. Right. Because Gotham is all the way over in Chicago.
In the new movie, though, the New York sewer connects to the Alpine Mountains.
Well, in the new movie, the New York City goes all over the country.
Yep.
And you can get to China.
All the sewers on Earth are connected in that movie.
But it's still better than the old movies because at least the New York sewer can't connect to feudal Japan, which is really the problem.
It didn't. A Scepter did that.
A Scepter did that. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Well, maybe it'll be the whole Alien versus Predator thing was all spawned off by the fact that they threw that xenomorph skull into Predator 2. So maybe eventually, or maybe now that you have noticed after 25 years of Batman Returns being out that there is the possibility of a crossover. Maybe the fandom out there will start writing the Batman versus the Ninja Turtles. Oh my God, who would win, Brad? in your world, between the Ninja Turtles and Batman. So it's all four Ninja Turtles. Okay, here are the rules. It's all four Ninja Turtles. It's Batman, but it's a version of Batman where he doesn't ever use a gun.
He does blow someone up with dynamite in that movie, though.
Right. Okay. So
he has dynamite.
No guns. Oh, so let's call it like an
he's armed with
animated
dynamite.
Let's call it like an animated version where there's no guns, and if he uses a missile, all it can do is knock over a wall that then inconveniences the people who the wall falls on. Right. So they have to dig their way out of the wall. So you got to take the cartoonish bend on it.
Well, if there's a cartoonish bend, that means there's Dimension X and lasers and. Yeah.
Since I know nothing about Dimension X, let's say yes. So yes, they can. The
Turtles
Ninja Turtles. Okay.
Because there's a Technodrome, and
I don't know what any of that is.
Oh man.
How does the Technodrome help their Dimension X shoot and kill Batman?
Well, the Technodrome has the portal to Dimension X, so they can constantly just keep sending over rock soldiers into.
Do the rock soldiers
Earth.
work for the Ninja Turtles?
They don't work for the Ninja Turtles, no. But,
okay, so the Ninja Turtles.
Well, you said it's a world with the Ninja Turtles, and in the world of the Ninja Turtles, that exists.
Right, but if the rock guys come through, then the Ninja Turtles and Batman have to fight the rock guys to stop the rock guys from invading the Earth, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so then that doesn't help the Ninja Turtles. So it's Batman. Batman and the Ninja Turtles have enmity with each other for some reason. Batman slept with April O'Neil and then didn't call her. So the Ninja Turtles have to go beat up Batman for April O'Neil's honor. And Batman didn't call April O'Neil. He's in love with April O'Neil, but he didn't call her because he thinks the turtles are creepy. So they have to kill each other. Who wins?
Since this is also Tim Burton's world and Batman can't turn his head, I'm going to say all four turtles kick his ass.
All right. Okay.
Yep.
You're right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he has no sidekick. No
got no
sidekicks
sidekick.
to back him
He
up.
can't turn his head.
All he's got is Alfred. He can't turn his head.
He can catch bullets, but they have knives.
And he has a fly swatter
Yes.
repelling option in his glove.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he has shark repellent, but that doesn't do him any good.
Nope. It's not Teenage Mutant Ninja Sharks.
It's not Street Sharks versus Batman.
Yeah, he's just got his Batarang. He's got that glider.
He's got the Batmobile, so he can get away from them.
Yeah, he can
fast.
run away. But you know what? I bet the Batmobile could outrun the Turtle Van.
But he's a ninja too, right? This isn't that bad of a comparison, right? He's a ninja. They're all ninjas. We can be ninjas together.
There's no evidence in the Tim Burton Batman to suggest that he was trained by this League of Shadows.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
So he's just all he does is punch people.
Yeah, punch people. You can throw the Batarang at them.
Honestly, this just kind of makes Batman sound really, really lame. How does he defeat any of his other villains?
Oh, the Penguin
The
just
Joker
fell
falls
backward.
off a
Oh, he used his grappling hook to tie the Joker to a gargoyle, and then the gargoyle broke off the cathedral and pulled him off the helicopter.
Okay, so his poor planning killed the Joker. How does he kill the penguin? He knocks him over and the penguins eat him or something?
Actually, back up. I guess his original plan, he threw the Joker off the side of the cathedral with his bare hands, but didn't anticipate there being a ledge.
So he defeated the Joker by pushing him.
And he tried to shoot him with his Batwing machine guns and missed.
Okay.
So he wasn't opposed to just shooting him.
So his poor aim left him with only one option, to push the Joker to death. Okay.
And so then the penguin, he got into a fist fight with the penguin, and the penguin saw that his own penguins turned against him. And then, he opened up a compartment in the bat ski boat that had a bunch of bats in it.
Okay.
Live bats, and the bats came out and started swarming around the penguin, and then penguin backed up into a window which is in the Gotham Zoo, and it was over the penguin sanctuary, and he fell into the lagoon.
Okay.
From a great height.
So after failing to beat up short, fat Danny DeVito,
I don't think they fist fought at all.
He distracted the penguin into backing into a window.
Right.
Into a lagoon. Okay.
Actually, I think he fought Catwoman more hand to hand than he fought the penguin.
Okay. If we follow the continuity, how does he defeat Two-Face in Forever?
Oh, well, I think it's like Schumacher Batman. Like, it's a different Batman.
Yeah, but it's the same continuity.
Okay. He defeats Two-Face. Two-Face...
Does he shoot him?
No, Two-Face is standing on a crossbeam with his gun pointed at Robin, who Batman just saved.
Uh-huh.
And then Batman says, gives out his own riddle, and then throws up the two-sided coin. And then Harvey Dent tries to reach out to grab it because he can't live without it, and he falls to his death.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Nope.
Are you fucking kidding me? How does he kill...
He loses his balance and falls into the sharp spikes below.
How does he kill Dr. Freeze? He slips on some ice and he falls off a cliff?
Freeze lives.
What the fuck?
He just gets put in Arkham Asylum at the end.
Oh my god. So how does Batman fight? Does Batman do anything? In those original 4 movies, does Batman do a fucking thing? Or does he just fly around in his Batwing and look cool?
No, he killed the Joker by tying up his leg.
He pushed him off a cliff.
He tried to push him off the cliff, and then when that didn't work, he tied him to the gargoyle, which broke away and killed him.
Okay.
So in a way...
So he was going to push him off a cliff to kill him.
Imagine
then
the gargoyle doesn't
break want him to die, so he saved him with a grappling hook, tied him to a gargoyle, but that was a bad idea.
Yeah, just imagine for a second the gargoyle doesn't break off, and the Joker just loses his grip on the helicopter. He probably swings over, slams against the cathedral, and busts his head open. So either way.
Okay.
Makes sense?
No, horrible. These are all horrible plans. Batman is the worst superhero.
Catwoman gets away.
Yeah, but
even though
she's like a...
She tries to electrocute herself
Some people
against Max Schreck. And then the Riddler goes to the asylum. He makes it.
He kills Bane. He does kill Bane in the 4th one.
Does he?
Doesn't he do some shit to make him grow? Do the same thing everybody does to Bane, where he pulls on the venom things.
I think he pulls on the venom, but he just shrinks, and he's laying there on the ground, I'm all weak again.
Oh, okay, well that's not.
And I think Poison Ivy gets eaten by a plant.
He's fighting Bane. He fights with Bane and pulls the things out of his head.
Right.
That's a successful A to B to C fight. Of I don't like you.
Took him down. Yeah.
This is how I beat you. Okay.
And then Poison Ivy, she just gets eaten by her own plant, right?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't think she even dies.
So, I mean, at least the Ninja Turtles, when fighting Shredder, their plan sucks because they fight him individually instead of just all 4 of them ganging up on him and fucking kicking his ass.
Mm-hmm.
But at least in that case, they are actively fighting the villain. So I guess the Ninja Turtles win.
Yeah, they would gang up on Batman
and Batman would try to push them, but if there's not a cliff nearby...
In 2, he has that Batarang that's programmable that can attack, because he's surrounded by the Red Triangle Gang at one point.
Okay.
And he pulls out the Batarang, and it hits 3 of the targets that he programs, but then the Chihuahua grabs it and runs off with it.
Damn it! What the... Batman's the fucking worst!
He's awesome.
Oh my
I don't care.
god.
But yeah, the Ninja Turtles would beat him.
Okay, all right. Yeah, no.
At least initially, until Batman puts together a transportation device that can...
From the argument we've just made, I'm pretty sure the Ninja Turtles, before they turn into teenage mutants, like just the little turtles in a half shell, I'm pretty sure they could beat up Batman. As long as there was not a cliff nearby or something distracting like a coin.
Or bats.
Or bats.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So,
wow.
This
was
week,
way longer than I wanted to discuss that.
This week, no, I think that was good. This week I went and saw Exodus. Brad, should I tell people to go see Exodus?
I don't know, should they?
I liked it. I really did. It's not
because it's Ridley Scott, and you love Ridley no matter what he does.
No, it totally is. I will be completely straightforward. There are some elements to this movie that because of what I know about Ridley Scott, I am somewhat unbiased and think that this movie is more interesting than most people will. If you're not at all interested in the story of Moses, you shouldn't see this movie. But if you are, you should check this out because I think it's a different telling of the story than what we've seen traditionally with your like 10 Commandments or something like that. But it's not as much of an action movie as I think some people are going to expect it to be, right? Coming from the Gladiator,
Kingdom of Heaven
ilk. But I think it's better than like Robin Hood or something like that. But anyway, we'll play the trailer and then I'll get into some spoilers.
I came to tell you something is coming that is far beyond my control. Unless you set my people free. I am prepared to fight for eternity. Moses, you say that you didn't cause all this. You say that your God did.
I am the God! I am the God!
Moses, they are animals. I will drown them in the Nile, as you should have been. I don't think so. What is it?
Ramesses, 4,000 men, 1,000 chariots.
Ready yourselves!
You've honored me with your trust! If you stay, you will perish! Follow me! You will be free! Do not be afraid! God is with us!
Is there really spoilers for the story of Moses?
Yeah. Spoilers. He lets his people go.
What?
Yeah.
That's such a great twist.
In the end, the Jews aren't slaves anymore.
Oh man.
So
this is such a revolutionary take.
But there are some things about the way they tell the story that they sort of change, and they change some of who Moses is in the story, at least traditionally. Because when you look at a movie like the 10 Commandments, it's a fairly simple, like, Moses gets kicked out of Egypt, he goes up to a mountain, there's a fire in a bush, and the bush says, like, hey, go do these things, and Moses goes and does them, and all the people are free, the end. And in this case, and just in every other story from the Bible with Moses in it, Moses is kind of a stubborn asshole who doesn't really want to do all the things God says. So this kind of goes in more of that direction. And so what's kind of cool here is that they spend a lot of time in Egypt. They don't show you his like origin story, as it were, of like the baby in the basket or any of that. They just start off with Moses and Ramses and their friends and their brothers and their it starts off with this war with some Hittites, and just to sort of show like it actually, that's where in this version they start to separate the two brothers out because this one like creepy witch doctor lady sets off this prophecy that, hey, you guys are going to go to war and you'll be successful, but one of the leaders is going to a leader is going to get saved by someone else, and that someone else is going to become a leader, right? So sure enough, they go to this war, and Ramses falls off his horse and almost gets killed, and Moses saves him. And then when they come back, Ramses is like, what the fuck? Like, you're going to totally betray me and be a dick. And Moses is like, what the hell? Nah, come on, don't worry about it. And then Moses finds out who he really is and ends up getting kicked out of Egypt. And what's kind of cool here is, like, so the great thing about a movie where you get to personify God is that you get to have characters who argue with or just in general have conversations about stuff with God. And that's just, I mean, you don't get that in every movie. And so in this case, I think that they do it pretty well where they have this like 10-year-old little boy who is the personification of God, and he shows up and starts telling Moses, like, and he's kind of a dickish little kid. Like, there's just this bratty little kid who kind of shows up and is like, the fuck have you been doing for 400 years? Like, you know, don't just yell at me because I haven't been doing anything. Like, you're not doing anything either. Like, go save these people. Like, whatever. And so Moses goes back, and in this version, at first he tries to like spur up a rebellion inside the Jews and train them to be warriors and all of that. And it's not really working. All he's causing is that the Pharaoh starts hanging a lot of Jews. And so God shows up again and is like, your plan sucks. Like, why don't you just let me go do this? And that's when the plagues happen and all of that. So I have two problems. One is I wish there were more scenes where Moses yells at God, because that part's pretty good. And it's just more interesting. Like that dynamic where this guy is having to wrestle with what he believes and whether or not, because at least in this version, in every other version of the story of Moses, he goes out to the desert and he meets this fucking bush, and suddenly he immediately believes in God and does exactly what God tells him. And in this one, like, he's still struggling with it, and it's not really his faith, and he doesn't really see himself as a Jew. And so that version of the story is interesting to me, but I wanted to see more of that wrestling. And then the other thing is that I don't know, like, it doesn't really commit itself to some of the things that it could be really good at. I have a feeling that there is another 40 minutes on the cutting room floor somewhere, and that a director's cut of this movie will be awesome, because I want more of the relationship between him and his brother and how that gets stressed. And I want more setup into that so that later when he's standing out yelling at God and saying, like, look, you're doing all of this shit and killing all of these Egyptians, like, those are people too. Why are you doing this? This is a shitty plan. You're killing lots of people. Like, why can't we do my version? That would make a lot more sense if you really did see him spend more time as an Egyptian and feel like he was really committed. And the same thing with just wanting more conversations between him and some of the Jewish people that he knows. Because they introduce characters like his brother Aaron who just show up and then never do anything. And I don't know if that's because they're trying to make it seem like they're staying true to the story, but in the actual story of Moses has a stutter, and so Aaron goes with him everywhere and is the one who tells people, or like tells Pharaoh, this is what you need to do. So why, if you're not going to do that, because no version of no movie about Moses has ever done that. So if you're not going to do that, why even introduce Aaron? Nobody else talks about Aaron. Like, Aaron just gets forgotten because you can't have a main character who has a stutter if the only thing he ever does is go yell at people, right? Because Moses never fucking does anything, right? He goes places, he throws shit into the river, and the river parts, and he goes places and says, everybody's going to die, and then everybody dies. But he doesn't do, and so if he has a stutter, so he doesn't even tell anybody that that's going to happen, then he fucking does nothing. So why introduce that character if there's not some other scene where Aaron sort of helps bring Moses around to understand, like, look, yes, you didn't grow up inside this culture, but this is who you are. But so part of why I think this movie is really interesting is, when you study criticism in college, one of the big schisms in the 20th century was this whole idea of whether or not the context, like whether or not the life of an author is important to the book that they wrote or the piece of art that they produced. So this isn't the first movie that Ridley Scott made since Tony Scott died, but this is the movie that he ends up dedicating to Tony Scott. And I think that there are two aspects of this movie that are why he does that are fascinating to me. One is that it's a relationship between two brothers, right? And even though I don't know Ridley and Tony Scott, so maybe, but they work together a lot. So I have a feeling that they weren't like Ramses and Moses, two dudes that tend to try to kill each other a lot. I have a feeling they were probably a little bit closer than that. But the other thing is that Ridley Scott professes himself to be an agnostic, but has made a lot of movies about religion and specifically Christianity. And a lot of those themes are tied into his films. And so I've always felt like he's constantly making movies that ask questions that he doesn't know how to answer. And this one, there are some pretty strong themes underneath about, even if you don't necessarily agree or understand the faith that you're trying to match yourself into, if in the end you think it's for the best, maybe you should keep trying. And it's clearly, this to me is clearly Ridley Scott trying to work out some of his religious questions in his life. And that part to me is what's really fascinating. So beyond whether or not just the movie is good, I think from like a super academic, like if you're a big Ridley Scott fan and you have read a lot about Ridley Scott, and you've watched his movies incessantly for your whole life like I have, this one is a particularly introspective movie where I think that it gives us a little glimpse into maybe what it is he's really concerned about or what things he's trying to figure out on his own. So that part to me is really fascinating. Is it a awesome Gladiator-style blockbuster that everybody should go check out? No. Is it going to be on my top 10 list? I don't know. Probably not. If I'm super honest, probably not. But, and then, just in case anybody has gotten through all of the swearing this week, if there is anybody out there who really, really likes the story of Moses and really just wants somebody to correctly tell the story of Moses, this is probably not your jam, because there's some things that they definitely changed. Like I went and saw it with my mom and dad, and when we got out, my mom was like clearly frustrated by, like, there was a lot of stuff they got really, really close, but then there are just a few things that they changed that are essential to the biblical telling of that story. But I still think it's pretty cool and absolutely gorgeous. Like, it is one of those movies that there were times where, like the battle at the beginning, where I was just sitting there thinking about how you don't get, or we rarely get a movie with that kind of scope anymore. Like, what was really cool about Lawrence of Arabia back in the day, about just how big and expansive that movie seemed when you went to see it in theaters, you get a little bit of that in like a Transformers movie where there's just a lot of wow factor in the special effects. But this, you get what kind of reminds you of an old Lawrence of Arabia movie with these grand sweeping shots of huge armies or just riders on horseback in the middle of the desert, and it's just a gorgeous looking movie and doesn't look, I'm sure that some of the groups are filled out by, Massive or one of those pieces of technology, and I've even seen some of the featurettes on this, that the majority of all the people you see in the foreground, everybody close, like those big groups of a few hundred people that are actually close enough you can tell whether or not it's CG, those are all real people.
But they just duplicate those guys
Yeah.
farther and farther back.
Yeah, just so that in the background it looks like there's more than there really are. But it's a good looking movie. It's 2.5 hours long though, so it's a
Bring a pillow.
for some people, yeah, for some people. But I really liked it. This is why I kind of wanted Ryan to call in for this one, because I kind of expected he was going to come out of it and be like, that was boring as shit. Because, it's not... The whole second half of the movie is just God does stuff and Moses walks places. But it's what he's learning as he gets there that's what's interesting. So it's like... It's actually a lot like Lawrence of Arabia. The first half is there's a lot of action, and the second half there's a lot of talking. And then a big wave. So, I say check it out.
Cool.
Anyway, in 2 weeks, next week we'll see The Hobbit.
Yep.
And is that the last movie of the year?
No, there's still one more week after that.
No, because then it's the third. I think. Because then...
No, because...
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, this week's the...
No, the 26th and then the 2nd.
Yeah, next week is The Hobbit, and then after that is Christmas Thursday.
No, next Thursday is Christmas.
That's what I
no. Oh, I see what you're saying. Right, because
this isn't next week yet.
Because it's not Monday.
Yeah,
right.
We're seeing The Hobbit this Friday,
Right.
this Friday
Yes.
or probably Wednesday.
Yep.
Ish, I'm sure. And then the week after that is Christmas, and then Film Explosion.
Okay, cool. What are we seeing the week of Christmas? Do we know? Oh, Interview.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So there's only 2 more movies this year.
I thought there was nothing I was going to care about.
So we'll see The Hobbit, and then we'll see The
I had a friend who's
Interview.
seen The Interview already.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Did you say it was good?
She said it was very good, yeah.
Oh, well, I thought it was a guy, so...
There was a secret screening at the Oriental.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, man. They brought Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen was there,
yeah. So then on the 2nd, probably the 3rd, actually, is when we will record the Film Explosion for this year. So get in your top 10 lists or just your votes for top movie of the year. We'll give some shit out. We may have maybe a special guest of some sort, or maybe a special segment this year as part of the Film Explosion. But we're just in the early stages of talking to somebody.
What?
So, yeah. So that'll be cool. Maybe you'll get some extra Alamo swag. So check it out. Send us some stuff. Cool. Bye.
Visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You can tweet us at real_nerds. You can email us even, realnerds@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook. Hey, stream us on Stitcher. You want to call us? 720-6nerds5. And download us on iTunes. Just search Real Nerds. Thank you, Joe Kempter, for the wonderful voiceover. And also Spark Mandrill for the wonderful late-night jazz smooth sounds of movies. You can find them on SoundCloud. This has been a Nebulous Visions production.